To begin, there are a few types of milkweeds that are native to Connecticut, including common, swamp, and butterfly. Specifically, I will be focusing on the plant commonly known as common milkweed and scientifically known as Asclepias siraca. In terms of biological classification, common milkweed belongs to the domain Eukaryota, the kingdom Plantae, the phylum Spermatophyta, the subphylum Angiospermae, the class Magnolicida, the order Genitanales, and the family Apocynaceae. While common milkweed is native to Connecticut, it can be invasive as it will spread throughout a garden. With this said, it is a fairly widespread species. Furthermore, common milkweed has an objectively general habitat preference as it tolerates a wide range of conditions, though it does prefer full sun. This organism can be found along roadsides and railroads, throughout fields, in vacant lots, on prairies, in shale barrens, in pastures, and on sand dunes of freshwater lakes. It can also tolerate both sandy and clay soils, including compacted soils. The adaptation the plant possesses to enable this unique behavior of sustaining life in a wide variety of habitats is its root system. Common milkweed possesses both horizontal and vertical roots, which can reach long lengths of up to 12.5 feet deep into the ground. These deep roots can produce buds in the ground, which can then sprout into new stalks in the following spring. Common milkweed reproduces primarily through sexual reproduction. Like in typical angiosperms, the common milkweed has reproductive parts called stamens that have pollen-producing parts on the top called anthers, as well as female reproductive parts in the middle called the carpel. Pollen from the anther can travel to another plant via wind, water, or animal. Then the milkweed itself can accept pollen through the top of the carpel called the stigma, where the pollen will stick and then travel down to the style to reach the ovary for fertilization. Once the pollen reaches the ovary, which contains the ova and central cell, double fertilization occurs in which one sperm fertilizes the ova to make the diploid zygote, and one sperm fertilizes the central cell to make triploid endosperm that provides nutrition for the embryo. Thus, the reproductive challenges for common milkweed, like other angiosperms, include relying on an outside source for primary reproduction. For instance, if the wind is not as strong as it typically is in a certain area, the pollen may be unable to spread and thus unable to continue the reproductive cycle. Yet, the biggest challenge common milkweed faces are destruction by humans. Many people view this organism as a weed in their field, garden, or backyard and tend to kill it. As a result, the ecosystem can be disrupted as many other organisms, such as monarch butterflies, rely on common milkweed to survive and provide a habitat. Additionally, because common milkweed is autotrophic, it undergoes photosynthesis to produce its own food. Thus, the plant requires chlorophyll, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, energy from sunlight, and water taken up from the roots in order to meet the nutritional requirements. Also, common milkweed has a unique behavior that provides protection to the plant. The organism is able to produce a toxin that deters some animals from feeding on the plant. Despite this, one major role of this organism is to provide a food source for many insects, including flies, ants, wasps, butterflies, bees, and beetles. In addition, this organism provides a home for monarch butterflies. Adult monarchs lay their eggs on the milkweed, and then the eggs hatch into caterpillars who spend their life eating the leaves and undergoing rapid growth until they form a chrysalis. Thus, monarchs depend on the milkweed. Clearly, this organism is well studied and its ecological role is understood. Finally, there are many interesting facts about this organism. First, common milkweed possesses cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, and a small percentage of ash. As a result of these properties, the fibers of the plant can be used to manufacture paper. Likewise, the white sap from the stem of the milkweed can be used to make rubber. Lastly, milkweed is historically and still commonly used to stuff pillows, comforters, and jackets.